Hello, it's Bob Butera, author of Meditation for Your Life, director of the Yoga Life Institute in Devon, Pennsylvania. In part 4 of this book, we talk about maintaining a meditation practice. It's not as easy as it sounds. I want to highlight and overview this section of the book, and this would be true for beginners as well as for seasoned meditators. There is, in fact, a psychological dimension to meditation. Ask any psychotherapist their critique of meditation, and it will be that meditation folks leave out the psychological dimension. You see, it is very possible to meditate and somewhat levitate or try to rise above your problems, your emotions, issues in your life, in your past, by superimposing a meditative mindset on top of it. Some of us might say pushing those issues under the rug. And a person who does this, or who falls into the trap of doing this, will end up thwarting their progress. Now, likewise, if you sit around and every time you have a thought and an emotion come up while meditating and think, oh, I better psychoanalyze this and understand what is the source of this emotion? Why am I feeling this way? And you stop meditating and then you start journaling, or you real quick make an appointment with your psychotherapist. That, of course, is not what we're talking about either. What I'm going to recommend for you is first alert you to the fact that when you sit quietly, it'll be a very natural thing for emotions, past issues, anything that's unresolved in your life, whatever you would consider your stress. It's going to be likely that those things will creep up and they will kind of be in the background of your thinking. Right? Where else would it go? Just because you're sitting quiet doesn't mean you're going to block out or dissociate from yourself. And if you ever feel that happening, then we wouldn't recommend meditation at that moment. What I am going to say is that as things come up, that you make a mental note. Okay, I remembered an instance that happened 5 years ago, and it still irritates me, and I just happened to notice it because I've really started to quiet my mind. Or I really am having trouble with a certain relationship. I think I'm going to need to resolve that because it's still bothering me, and I'm even noticing it when I sit down to meditate. And what I'd like you to do is to make a mental note of those particular issues. Don't be surprised that they may pop up during meditation and feel very intense. When you're done your meditation session, you can then choose to cope with those situations as they need to be handled. Whether it's talking to someone else, whether it's just doing a little reflection on your own. You'll know what to do. Now, the irony is, if you can allow that circumstance to not be focused on while you're meditating, without forgetting about it and pushing it away, just letting it hover during your meditation, you may find that as your mind calms and quiets, often the answers to those circumstances will be revealed without much effort. In the case that you do need to think further, your mind will be much clearer and you will have a better perspective after meditation in order to deal with these types of things. So what we're hoping, and what Meditation for Your Life is demonstrating and preaching, is that we want to bring the psychological element into the meditation. And again, this book has been greatly influenced by all my practice with yoga. And any well-balanced yoga person is always trying to understand their mind. And that includes their emotions, their feelings, their desires, their wishes. All those aspects of yourself are a part of the practice. You don't go into a different mindset while doing the yoga and then go do your life and separate everything into compartments. We want to keep it all together and find a level of harmony and peace with it. So the last section of this book has 10 chapters focused on what we consider to be 10 major points of contention, doubt, difficulty when you're meditating. And again, these will appear in one form when you start and in a different form as you continue. But this element will always be with your meditation. Don't feel alone. We all have that same feeling. We'll have emotions and various past ideas arise. The one form of misinformation that can be conveyed sometimes in the field of meditation is that if you meditate, all these wonderful things will happen to you. And that is true. Oftentimes, the amount of work needed to achieve those results is left out. Nobody wants to hear that it's going to be a lot of work, but I want you to know that up front so that when you realize, meditation isn't as easy as I thought it might have been, that you're not surprised and that you stay with it. So we're trying to be as realistic as possible with everything that we've presented to you in Meditation for Your Life. I hope it's going great.